listen. Lorie is an evidential medium. She's known for her wonderful TV series where she is on Ghost of Shepherdstown. And we love to welcome you to the show, Lorie.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be on with you guys.
Happy to have you.
Can you hear me?
We already had, yes, we hear you fine. We actually had callers before you even called in asking, is Lorie going to be doing readings on the air tonight?
I am, if you want.
Hey, we could do that. That's fine. That's a lot of fun. Well, we welcome you. Glad to have you on board with us this evening. For those of you who don't know Lorie, I'm going to give her the opportunity now to give you a little bit of her background. As I said, she is an evidential medium. She's on the TV series Ghost of Shepherdstown, but she's way more than that. So I'm going to let Lorie give you a little bit of information about who she is and what she does. So go ahead, Lorie.
You put me in the corner. I don't like talking about myself. Okay. I like calling myself a open channel. Basically, whatever gift needs to be done, I can do, or it's able to be done. I like to be called. I'm really not down, to earth with the branding of the names. I am just gifted. I was born gifted. My mom's gifted. But I am a psychic medium, a shaman healer. I'm an animal communicator. I've worked with Lord. There's so many. I mean, you can ask questions. I really don't like talking about myself. I'm not, fathead, I guess you want to call it.
It's just and I appreciate your modesty, and I appreciate your openness on, listen, this is a gift. I was born with this, and so many people don't say that. So while you and Chris chat, I'm going to screen. We have a caller calling in. So I'm going to screen that caller, and you and Chris could talk a little.
Okay.
Okay. Lorie, Joseph Shepherdstown. How did you get involved in that?
Well, I was living in Shepherdstown itself, right on the mainstream, where most of our cases were. And I knew the sheriff at the time, and I started getting to know a few people. I mean, I'm not the type of person that goes out and just flaunts myself, if that makes sense. I basically sat on my... Well, thank you. Most things that I was doing was basically, doing a lot of paranormal investigations, especially the house that I lived next door to. It was very haunted, and there was a demon in there. But I also had found there was 2 older people and a child in there, and the negative was basically keeping the souls stuck in the home. So I had found myself cleansing and clearing that home, and then all of a sudden I started getting involved with other paranormal teams in Shepherdstown, Martinsburg, Harper's Ferry, and I started finding that helping the souls, be released, being earthbound and all that, I started recording in my backyard, and of course I was smacked in the middle of Gettysburg, Sharpsburg, Harper's Ferry. That is where the Civil War was. So a lot of things that were happening, they were taking me in their time, and I started having wounded men in spirit coming in my yard, and sir, where's the captain, or they were talking to me, and I'm like, I started seeing that they were wounded, young boys wounded around their head, or they're missing a limb, and I would direct them back behind where they were. They were going forward. Instead, I tracked them back where they began, and then I sent them to the light. It was really sad to deal with so many lost souls in, West Virginia, and I don't know, it just made me want to expand myself out. And then a friend of mine said, Lorie, there's a production here, and they're looking for a psychic medium, or a psychic, or a medium. And I went and I did the interview, and they hired me right off the bat. They loved who I was, what I stood for, how I did my work.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I find it really cool, the premise of the show and this entire town that is experiencing activity, not just one home in the town, but so many of them all over the town are experiencing things going on. What's the most memorable thing for you?
As far as the episodes that I've done, or
Yeah.
or
anything within Shepherdstown.
Well, the Shepherdstown, it's not just, I don't just see it as Shepherdstown. I see it, Harper's Ferry. I see it in Gettysburg. I see it in Sharpsburg. I see all that connection with just where I was in Shepherdstown. A lot of people, it doesn't matter where you live. There's always activity. You know what I mean? But there was something going on with Shepherdstown to where something had awoken. And 3 years ago, and I'm taking it, not a personal type of thing, but I feel that it could have been the traumatic reason why things started waking up. My cousin was killed on the tracks down there, and to me it was a very trauma type of thing to me, losing someone so close, my first cousin. And so, it could have been a beginning of it, and, to let them know that I do see them and they wanted help. There's a lot of unsolved stories that nobody knows. And, a lot of these earthbound souls, they just want recognition. They want to know that their life mattered, or, they need help with direction. Back in the day, you've got to remember, there was an old-fashioned way. You did wrong, you were going to hell for it. And a lot of these souls that were earthbound or stuck, they were basically wanting direction. They wanted to be forgiven. And the thing is that a lot of people don't realize that we humans, the people that are alive, we are worse judges than God. I have no religion, but I have faith. And my faith is I do believe in God. I do believe in Christ. There was a few personal things that I've gone through. I've seen Christ, in a past life. He's come to me in my sleep. I've seen Archangel Michael in person. If you were talking to someone that was supposed to be sane, I should be hugging myself with the things that I've gone through in my entire life. And I laugh about that, because who's sane? You know what I mean? What is sane? So.
Right. I think only the sane question their sanity.
Yeah, but is that scientific question, or is that a spiritual question? Or is that a downright, I've got to pinpoint what your issue is, human question? You know what I'm saying? I don't like being branded. That's why I'm gifted. I'm born gifted. I did question myself, was I worthy enough to have this? And then I started saying it wasn't about me. It was about the people that were drawn to me. I love what I do and who comes in my path. And there's always a reason.
I agree 100%, Lorie, because everyone comes into our life for a reason.
Most definitely.
And what you do is you do it so openly, you do it so honestly, and you do it to help people and help people find closure. Not only people of this realm, but people of the other realm as well, for them to have that closure, and that's very important.
Most definitely, and it's also for the living as well. There are
Exactly.
What I've gone through and seen it. If I wasn't accepting and not judgmental, it would have freaked me out, and I should have been hugging myself. Period. But I don't judge anything, because nothing and no one is better than anyone. We're all equal as one. And a lot of people say, well, Lorie, Second Lorie Johnson is, conceited and this and that. I don't see myself conceited. I love my job. I wasn't trained in this. My mother denied my gift all my life. And then a year after my dad dies, I'm seeing my father, and it freaked me out. And then, of course, after I saw that, I started seeing visions of when I was 2 years old, and I started seeing visions then, and it was an older male. I remember it like it would have been yesterday. And he was always watching over me. I remember being in, it was summertime, I was in a diaper, I was crawling, wasn't even 2 years old yet. And there's this old man, every time I wanted to cross over a sidewalk or whatever, you know, a baby in just a diaper, you can get scraped on the knees and all, whatever. I remember being protected by this man. And it took my father 30 years, my grandmother, his mom, had given me pictures. And I said, Dad, who is this man? And he said, that's my father. And I started crying. He was the man that watched over me all my life. And he died a year after. He died a year before I was, well, a year after I was born. And he was also a shaman healer. He was 100% Cherokee Indian. So I remember the stories, and my dad was telling, sorry, I don't mean to talk over you, how his father, you know, he had the visions of his own brother dying, and 15 minutes later, they're getting a phone call, and his brother died. And the next morning, my dad said his father woke up, and his hair was from coal black, and it turned all white. You know, it's crazy how most of us, well, all of us are gifted. It's up to you to see your self-worth, self-love, accepting that, you know, no matter what you've gone through, don't take it personally. I mean, I've gone through abuse, physical and verbal, all my life. Not some of my life, all my life. And I never had that put my thumb in my mouth and poor me type of thing. I'm not saying that that's wrong. It's not wrong. But when you start realizing that, you know, the human side of if anyone can hurt another human, a person, a fur baby, anything, there's something chemically wrong with the brain that's clouded of who they're supposed to be. Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I believe, you know, everybody, when you said that everyone is gifted,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I kind of make it equivalent to singing. You know, everybody has a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Some can be Stevie Nicks, and others should do it in the shower alone when nobody's home. But everybody could sing. Psychic abilities, I feel, are the same thing. I feel that everyone has psychic abilities, and whether or not you bring them to light and you develop them is how strong they become.
Most definitely. Well, it's more that you're believing in yourself. You know, back in the day, I wouldn't go to the bathroom in school because I was so afraid that who's going to see me or hear me. I wouldn't eat lunch because I was afraid someone was going to... I was always worried about what other people thought. And then I got to the point where I was an adult, a mom of 3 kids, 3 grandchildren. I got to the point where, why would I fixate myself on worrying about what other people think? They don't pay my bills. They're not there when I need them. When I'm crying, there is no shoulder there. So I started getting to the point where I needed to lean on myself, and I started believing in myself, and instead of second thinking myself, I started telling myself, if that makes sense. I just basically, if it came to me, I seen it, I said it. I mean, I'm a very blunt person. I have manners. My father and mother taught me manners, so I don't speak in a manner of disrespecting someone. But if I find that it is something that I believe or have lived that is wrong, even though you've lived it, everybody has different paths. Everybody has different sights. You know what I'm saying? It's like not worrying. I stopped worrying about what other people thought. And then that's when I started becoming more stronger in my abilities. I mean, I love calling myself, I'm a freak. I'm a spiritual freak. I mean, it's I don't know. I don't limit myself. I've been out of body. I've seen my soul. I was sitting on the couch. I've seen myself stand up, look at me, and walk out through the door, and she's telling me it's time for you to go. And I knew I knew what she was trying to say, but because there is a lack of I would say probably about maybe 38% of self-love with me, I second-guessed myself. And of course I stood and I got abused again. So it's like, you know, our intuitions tell us there's something wrong. You have to start believing in yourself. That is the number one thing. It's not what other people teach you. Yeah, we're all here to teach each other, to move on. You don't have to mimic anyone. But you can take that little tiny piece of that puzzle from that person and move on to where I work in the light and follow the light in your own path.
Okay, Lorie, we have actually a question in the chat room.
Okay.
And we also have a caller, Trish, who is looking for reading. The question in the chat room is, Lorie, the listener is confused. Do you consider yourself, and I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it, a psychic, medium, or a shaman?
But see, there's no such thing as a like with me. I don't separate. You know, I had one medium tell me, and I looked up to him very much as far as a mentor. You know, he says, never tell anybody that what you see as far as, you know, I can see death, I smell death, I know how long it's going to be. I'm not God. I will never ever tell someone, oh, you're going to die tomorrow. Who is that? You're brainwashing somebody. What I do is with the shamanism, that's the part of the spiritualism that I like, I love the most about me, is because instead of being the doctor and giving you a year to live or 6 months to live, I'm the type of person, I'm going to look deep inside. I'm going to find out through you and through your angels and through your guardian angels, what can I do to prolong your life with no suffering, no pain, and no hurt? That's my number one gift that I like the best. But I love all my gifts. So I am a psychic, I am a medium, I am a shaman, I am an animal communicator, I am a channeler. I see past regressions, I see future. I mean, I don't limit myself. There is no such thing to me as, do I like something different? I love my shamanism the best because I'm saving somebody's life. There are so many people that have written me when I was second guessing myself. I started a group. It was Those That Are Loved Are Still Here. And they started coming in, and there was a military male came forward for this lady. And he said, I asked the lady that called me, I said, honey, he needs me to look at his mother. Is that okay? And she said, yeah. I said, I see a black spot. When I see it, the darker it is, the more I know it's a cancer. I found it in her lung. 6 months later, she came and wrote me and told me that I saved her sister's life. Am I a god? I'm not a god. But I have the gifts to be able to help somebody to be at ease and no suffering, no pain, and not lose their life before their time. Yeah, I love that. That's my favorite gift, is shamanism. Intuitive medical intuitive. I hope that explains a lot. I mean, I'm a very in-depth person. So, shamanism is my favorite gift that I have.
Wonderful. What I'm going to do now is, we have Trish on the line. I'm going to bring Trish into the conversation.
Okay.
Okay with you?
Okay.
Hello, Trish.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome. Lorie, Trish has some questions for you.
Okay.
Well, Lorie, I called for a mini reading, but you said something that during the interview that I wanted, that I actually had a question on as well, and that was, you were talking about how you were kind of born with this, and this is your passion. And I run into so many people who take a weekend class and consider themselves psychics and or mediums, and I was curious if you think it's that easy.
Well, the thing is that, and please forgive me, I am blunt and I'm very straightforward. I don't mean to disrespect, but to me, that's a little bit of pride of you asking that, because, and please forgive me if it sounds disrespectful, because I'm not disrespectful at all. But to me, if you felt so much love for yourself, and you know that there's something different about you, and you're going into I'm a mentor as well. I have online classes, and I do mentor a lot of people. The thing is that if you feel that you are that special enough to walk in that door of that mentor or that class or that Reiki class or whatever it is, God bless you, honey, because that is the beginning of loving yourself. I'm not going to judge anybody that says that, oh, I'm a psychic medium, but I'm not as good as this person. It's the point of wanting to become something that they know that deep down in their soul they should be. where they should be at. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah, I just want to make sure you understand. I don't, I was just asking, I was just kind of looking for your opinion. I didn't, me personally, I don't think it's that easy. I don't think it's that easy. I kind of agree with you.
Right.
Because it's a little bit like, you know, Bill said, when, you know, you can sing in the shower or you can sing on stage. And so it bothers, it doesn't bother me, but I find it fascinating that so many people take a weekend class and consider themselves in the same realm as someone who's been doing it their whole life.
Right, but that's the thing, you know, with the and I'm not going to put anyone down, but I do have a way of, you know, what limits people on the abilities that they could have is those that have limited themselves of yesteryear's psychic mediums, the spiritual the way that Teresa Caputo handles her cases. I'm totally different than her. You have John Edwards. I do different than him. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how much you can do. It's the matter of wanting to be able to understand your own gift. You know, like I said earlier, you know, I can mentor one person and or two people, and the one person is doing a little bit more than the other person. We all have different jobs to do. Do you understand that? So,
I do.
okay, but there are so many fakes out there that really penetrate the nerve in me to the point where they're out there and they're making $1,500 an hour, and they're street reading. A street reader is, if you ever want a reading, never go to a person. Well, my mom died two months ago, and she couldn't breathe, and then expect somebody to give you a true reading, because if you're a storybook reader, you're going to be able to give a reading off. And because that person's so full of sadness and loneliness, they're going to believe every word you say. And that's what pisses me off, excuse my slang, is those that are street readers. And I've seen a lot of street readers. You know, if you're going to go to a psychic medium and you're going to pay whatever, don't say anything. Don't give names. Don't give anything. Don't give any information, because what you're doing is you just fed them the first paragraph that you need to hear. Not what you want to hear. It's what you need to hear. Do you understand that?
I do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy too.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I know for a fact that you are gifted. I could see everything about you, especially when you were little. You have issues with your knees. I mean, everything about you, as far as, and please forgive me on over walking you, but with you calling in to me, I feel you most definitely are gifted. I can see that you like to write, or it's drawing, because I can see something in your hand. You're right-handed?
I am right-handed, and just so you know, I will call in as I'm gifted. I've never done any studying. I don't do this.
Don't have to. I never did studying. I've never done studying. I've never had a mentor. I followed people. I've never had a teacher tell me, you know, this and that, because if I had a teacher in my time of when I was born, they would have limited me. I don't want to be limited. If somebody comes in my path and says, you know, is there anything that you can help me with? The first thing I'm going to do is live your life, go into your past and figure out what you've brought into this, your past, and then if I can't find it from there, I'll go to your past lives. You most definitely have been a traveler. Do you like to travel still?
I do. The reason I asked Paul was I had this really stressful situation for the past 6 months, and I was just hoping that someone from Spirit could give you, rather than me, right, some insight as to when it's going to end.
Yeah, but I see a lot of things that are happening with you. You most definitely love, and please forgive me for the way I say it, I am very blunt. You love material stuff, yes? You love beautiful, bright, large pictures with the dark background to a per se. Yes or no, please?
I do.
Okay, so what's going on is okay, let me look and see what's going on with you. All right, I see a woman, and it could be your mom or your grandmother, because you look a little bit like her, but she's more rounded in the face, if that makes sense. To me, you're more shaped like your father, look like your mother, yes or no?
I look more like my mother.
Yeah, you look like your mom, but you're shaped like your father.
Yes.
Yeah, because I can see your dad's from his nose down in the chin. You're most definitely shaped like your dad's side of the family. But you also look a lot like your mom's mother and her grandmother.
Right.
Yeah. I can see everybody. Okay, so what's going on is one, you have to clean your space out. You have to bring in the bright colors because most definitely you are, I would call you a gypsy. You're freedom flyer. You love earth tones. You love, but yet you bring it in the dark around you. So that means that you're hovering yourself. You're underestimating yourself. You're not, what would you call it? Yeah, you have most definitely upper stomach issues as well, like an acid reflux or it's a hernia. I see a knot. I'm in front of you, so if you put my left, your right hand out, and I'm right between your chest and chin. You can feel a cold draft. That's me. You have a lot of issues, and what's going on is your spirituality side is trying to awaken you up. Get rid of all the dark stuff. You've got a lot of clutter around you. Everything's got life. Everything is, you have to look at as energy, and you're picking it up. You're most definitely a sensitive empath. You're having some wild dreams as well. I can see what you're having in dreams as well. You're to me, I feel like you're I don't know. It's like you're on your back and you're kicking, like you're away from something's coming forward with you. Can I ask you if you're married?
I'm not married. The source of my stress is I've had a neighbor who continually sues me in court for 5 years, even though it's been settled and resolved and there's no other issue. He somehow finds a way to keep dragging up the past and throwing it in my face.
Yeah, but I see that, honey. But everything that's going on with that is the atmosphere above you. It's everything around you. Everything is negative is coming towards you because you're not seeing what you're supposed to be seeing. Let me look and see with your neighbor. Can I ask you if it's a male and a female? I see a female that has like a dirty light brown hair, kind of. Is that the one that you're having an issue with?
She's given me trouble in the past, but right now it's just the male.
I feel a lot of jealousy between her and that male. Who got the restraining order? I'm hearing restraining order.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. And just to confirm what you said, I have horrible acid reflux that no one can determine why.
Yeah, I can see it. You have a hernia coming in the it's more on my right, your left side of your stomach. You eat a lot of acidy foods. It's and sodas. Did you drink a lot of sodas when you were younger?
I did.
Yeah, you got a cut in your, I see a little rip in your stomach area. It's the top part of the stomach area is what I'm seeing. You also have anxiety big time. Most definitely. Clean. If you're asking me to read you, please listen to what it says, okay? Clean your surroundings around you, okay? Clean it all out. Get rid of some of the clutter. Brighten up your inside of your home and everything that's around you, even outside your home, including you need air on the right side, the front right side of your tire. Everything that's happening will stop. Do you understand that? Honey, you're awakening. You've been awakening for about 12 years now. You're in denial. You're very stubborn in school. You're very stubborn as an adult as well.
You're correct.
Okay. Please listen, okay? Clean and brighten up your inside your home, especially your room. Your room, I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know if it's purples and browns, but there are some dark colors in there as well. But your bedding's always white. It's like you feel more comfortable in your bed. So clean.
I do.
Okay.
I feel more comfortable in my bed.
Yeah, I know. But you also have a door in your closet, or it's a bathroom in your bedroom. If I'm looking at inside your room, it's on the my left side. There's a door always open. Close that door. Get rid of a lot of that clutter and everything that even when you're going out, the energy will change automatically. Okay. There's a lot of jealousy with that woman with the male. Let's just put it that way. And you need to keep your shades closed in your room. in your house, period. You're being watched. You do know that, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You're being watched. Somebody's watching you from the
No, I didn't
outside.
know that.
Okay, well, you're being watched. And it's a male.
Okay. Is there any, my hearing on this whole matter is tomorrow. Do you have any suggestions how to approach it?
You have a lawyer or no?
I do.
Yeah,
I
but
have
you.
one lawyer that
Is it?
emergency and she's not free, so her assistant, her other partner is coming.
Yeah, but is that going to be a male?
It is.
Ask for a contingent or a continue, and make sure the other lawyer comes, the female. She's getting tired of dealing with all of it. Just make sure that you're getting your money's worth. But yeah, you're going to win this. You need to make sure that you start recording or whatever you have to bring in. Do you understand that? Don't miss any. If you have Texas, if you have, I don't care, rocks, I don't care what it is. Bring it in and tell them that your nerves are bad. You know, do what would you call that? Put a lot of empathy into it, and you're gonna win.
Okay. I will. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, and for your host, I can tell them that what you said was dead on, and it's definitely what I'm experiencing right now because of this added stress that has come into my life. So it's kind of amazing to me how it's going.
No, thank you.
Well, that's great to hear, Kristen, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. I'm going to listen on my laptop, but very, very interesting. I'm really enjoying the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We are going to, Lorie, you have one other caller, but before we take that caller, we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
And we will be right back.